Hello viewers, welcome to Express Politics on CVRC. I am Oyedokun Adedoyin Samuel, and joining me in the studio today is Mr. Akintunde Somenfisent. He is a senior analyst on TVRC. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
And the topic before us today is 2023 election, the emergence of running mate and its implications. Please, Mr. Akintunde, can you give us the leading presidential contenders and their running mates?
Okay, it's actually so nice to be in the studio today. The leading contenders, so far so good in my opinion, is that we have the All Progressive Congress in person of, the flag bearer in person of Ashwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu, and his running mate that we had yesterday that they've been able to come out with a running mate in person of Shetima. And again, the leading opposition party, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, the flag bearer, Atiku Abubakar, and his running mate, Ifeanyi Otto Okowa, the governor of Delta State. We also have the man from Labour Party. He happens to, at the moment, he's also making waves, not just locally, but also globally. That's the person of Peter Obi, the then governor of Anambra State, under the platform of Labour Party, and his running mate, Ahmed Babadati. The man that should also be, that should not be dumped down is the NNPP man, in person of Rabiu Kwankwaso.
Okay, so thank you very much for that. So what do you think leads to the emergence?
Yeah, the emergence, if we were to look at the All Progressive Congress, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a man who has cut his teeth. He's a man who has been in the politics for decades. He has produced so many political juggernauts. Don't forget the likes of Fashola, the likes of the incumbent vice president, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, the likes of Governor Fayemi of Ekiti State, the likes of the then governor of Osun State, Aregbesola, and even the incumbent governor of Osun State, Oyetola. So this is a man who has produced so many political guru. So politics in Nigeria is not a child's play. If you're going to win any election, you have to come out strong. And his running mate, Shetima, it's not longer news that in the northern part of the country that we have insecurity ravaging that land. Even not the southwest is just only better off, and the part of the eastern bloc. But generally, if you look at the northern hemisphere in Nigeria, that the insecurity is the order of the day. People are being killed, maimed on a daily basis. So it is presumed that the emergence of Shetima will serve as a kind of a watershed to dump down the fire that is currently burning in that part of the country. So they believe that Shetima will be a man to serve as a mediator between the terrorists, Boko Haram and ISWAP, and also the presidency. So that of the PDP, don't forget Atiku Abubakar happens to be the deputy, the vice president to Olusegun Obasanjo, and Obasanjo spent 8 years in power with this same man. So he's a man who knows Nigeria in and out, and his vice president running mate, Ifeanyi Otto Okowa, is a man whose name resonates. Don't forget, recently the Igbos have actually cried out, and it's obvious that the Igbos have been marginalized. They are not, they are not very active when it comes to political process in Nigeria. They have been thumbs down. They are hardly given a key positions in this country. So choosing a man who happens to be the governor of Delta State, whose name carries Igbo's a man with Igbo background, Ifeanyi Otto Okowa. So one could only say perhaps is a kind of a consolation to the Igbos picking Okowa. And again, that of the Labour Party, the Peter Obi of Anambra State. His antecedent in Anambra State as regards economy. He's a man that is economically intellectual. economically sagacious. And its running mate, Ahmed Babadati, is also an intellectual par excellence. He's a man who has also cut his teeth when it comes to, and is also very, as regards Nigerian politics, it's also very sound. So one could say that, let me not forget the man from NPP, Rabiu Kwankwaso. He's also a man who has, don't forget, he ruled Kano State he was their governor, and he has also served in so many capacities as regards executive and even as regards legislature. So one could only say that the emergence of these people is as a result of Nigerian politics that is very competitive. So if you are going to come out, you have to come with your strong man.
Okay, thank you very much. So with the situations on ground of the running mates and the presidential candidates, what does each of them bring to the table?
Like I said, not quite long, I thought if you look at their history, all of them, you all have what it takes to. They have so much to contribute to the development of this country. Is it Asiwaju that has a very strong political structure, that has championed, that has been in charge of Lagos State for 8 years, and during his reign, you could see what he did. Or is it Atiku that has been the vice president for 8 years? Or is it Peter Obi that can always give you his antecedent as regards what he did in Anambra State? Or is it Kwankwaso? All these people, they have so much to bring, and without excluding their running mates, they all have what it takes to rule this country. But what we are all hoping for is that the best among them that will turn this country around will emerge.
Okay, let's go to their running mates right now. Let's talk about that one. What are the implications of their running mates?
Yeah, for example, the implications so far, if you look at the ruling party, All Progressive Congress, at the moment, we are looking at, there are so many.
Before you answer that question, let me read this tweet to you. The issue of Chibok girls were kidnapped under Shetima's watch when he was Borno, the governor. So I wanted to match it together, talking about the implications that might happen.
Apart from the insecurity that is ravaging that part of the country, one of the implications is as regards, if you look at Nigeria, at this point in time, it's a country that is so sensitive. In short, some will tell you that the country is sitting on the gunpowder. So if the country is sitting on the gunpowder, the country must be very careful as regards who emerges or who doesn't emerge. Now, as regards the ruling party, there's this issue of Muslim ticket, religion. Religion is also part of our life in this country. So if you're going to present a candidate, of course we all want the country wants somebody who is credible, but even at that, there must be some modicum of sensitivity. So that implication, that alone is an implication that is still very much looming. A kind of a disaster that is looming, disaster in the envelope, the Muslim ticket.
Okay.
And that of the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, we all knew the role Wike played in that political party. In short, he's one of those who will beat his chest that I've been in this party right from the very beginning, and there's nothing like me cross carpet into any party or coming back to this. So he has been a kind of a prominent stakeholder in the People's Democratic Party. And one could only say that if he lost that presidential primary, that the best the party can do is to give him the president the VP slot.
Yes.
But at the moment, the VP slot wasn't given to him. So that alone in PDP is a very serious issue. And again, in the Labour Party, one to say, okay, Peter Obi is an economist. Ahmed Babadati is also an economist.
Yes.
So they are saying, what about the insecurity? What about other areas? Is it only so? All these are kind of implications that one could just.
All right, Mr. Acting, because of our time. So let's take a look at this and let's wrap it up from here. What should be everyone's expectations in the 2023 election?
what everyone should expect is that if we are going to have a viable candidate, if we are going to have a viable, a serious president, it must be a kind of a collective responsibility. We must not just say we want to vote alone. We must be sure that we know who we are voting for, why we are voting for him. I think with all this, then we have a very strong man to champion the appeal of this country.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Akintunde Somefisense. And here is where we draw the curtain for today. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned next time.